which moves us into our next story here. So Joe Biden, and we got to use the word allegedly, folks, because we don't want to get in trouble. Joe Biden allegedly paid $5 million by Burisma. Ooh, well, speaking of all this Russian hoax stuff, Burisma. So he allegedly paid $5 million by Burisma executive as part of a bribery scheme, according to an FBI document. So this is kind of breaking news. We've heard about a document. We've heard about these whistleblowers. Now more's coming out. So Marjorie Taylor Greene was in a skiff. She released some information. She took notes right when she left the skiff. So a lot of this is kind of coming from various sources that were kind of a part of what was revealed. So this is an exclusive. President Joe Biden was allegedly paid $5 million by an executive of, get this, the Ukrainian national gas firm Burisma Holdings, where it just so happens his son Hunter Biden was a member of the board. Hunter Biden doesn't know anything, was a member of this board. A confidential human source told the FBI during a June 2020 interview 3 years ago, and nothing came of it. The sources briefed Fox News Digital on the contents of the FBI-generated form alleging a criminal bribery scheme between then Vice President Joe Biden and a foreign national that involved influence over the U.S. policy decisions. Oh, shocker, as if we didn't know any of this. As if, like, we already knew a lot of this. We knew this type of stuff was happening. We could connect the dots, but for some reason, the justice system can't. The form, which was dated on June 30th, 2020, is the FBI's interview with a, quote, highly credible source, a confidential source, who detailed multiple meetings and conversations he or she had with a top Burisma executive over the course of several years, starting all the way back in 2015. Fox News Digital has not seen the form, but it was described by several sources who are aware of its contents. I heard from Marjorie Taylor Greene that one of these sources is so credible that it's literally paid for by the FBI. Now, you might go, well, how is that credible when the FBI paid for some sort of foreign national or foreign informant regarding the Russian hoax? So you got a great question there. I'm not so sure, but I tend to believe somebody that usually is an informant of the FBI that's paid on behalf of the FBI, where the Russian hoax one was only for a limited amount of time. I'm hearing a lot of people say this guy or girl is extremely credible. The form is used by FBI agents to record unverified reporting from confidential human sources. The form is used to document information as told to an FBI agent, but recording that information does not validate or weigh it against other information known by the FBI. The Burisma executive sought the advice of a confidential source, a business professional, on gaining U.S. oil rights and getting involved with a U.S. oil company. The source is familiar with the document said. The Burisma executive was speaking with the confidential source to, quote, get advice on the best way to go forward in 2015 and 2016. According to this form, this confidential document, the confidential human source said the Burisma executive discussed Hunter's role on the board. The confidential human source questioned why the Burisma executive needed his or her advice in acquiring access to U.S. oil if he had Hunter Biden on the board. Well, the Burisma executive answered by referring to Hunter Biden as dumb. Yes, yeah. I mean, that's the most truthful thing we've heard in quite some time. Yes, that's true, but carry that over to the big man named Joe Biden as well. Both are dumb. Both make extremely dumb decisions. I mean, you can look from their actions. The Burisma executive explained to the confidential source that Burisma had to, quote, pay the Bidens because Ukrainian prosecutor was investigating Burisma, and explained how difficult it would be to enter the U.S. market in the midst of that investigation. This is so astonishing. But we're not surprised here in the Bob Brad Show, are we, folks? None of us are surprised here. It's just validating what we already knew before. We're getting more information about it, but it's definitely validating a lot more. It's kind of filling in the puzzle pieces for us. The confidential source further detailed that conversation, suggesting that Burisma executive, that he pay the Bidens $50,000 each, to which the Burisma executive replied, it is not $50,000, it's $5 million. I mean, we just got done hearing stories how the Chinese paid the Biden family $3 million. I mean, there's money coming from everywhere. That's, again, not a shock to any of us. But for some reason, for the Democrats and the progressive left and the libs, it was a shock that Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, and just the Trump family was getting money from all over the world. When, yes, they were a business family before they ever walked into the White House. It's not the same for the Biden administration. They were in government, and then all of a sudden all this money comes from everywhere else as if they're running these business deals. They have all these shell companies everywhere. But, Donald Trump gets indicted on federal charges. Joe Biden walks clean. That seems to how it's the case. Maybe not. We'll see. We got a lot of Republicans opening up the doors here on maybe going after Joe Biden, or at least looking under the hood. I'm not saying he did anything wrong, but we kind of are guessing that he probably did something wrong. $5 million for one Biden. $5 million for the other Biden. The Burisma executive told the confidential human source, according to a familiar source that is connected to the document, or at least knows something about the document. A source familiar said, according to the document, the $5 million payouts appeared in reference to a kind of retainer Burisma intended to pay the Bidens to deal with a number of issues, including the investigation led by Shokin, who again was kind of conducting this whole thing. Another source referred to the arrangement as a pay-to-play scheme. And sources familiar with Fox News Digital said the confidential human source believes the $5 million payment to Joe Biden and the $5 million payment to Hunter Biden occurred based on his or her own conversations with the Burisma executive, like first-hand account of what actually took place. Hey, did you pay the guy $5 million? Did you give him the $5 million? Huh? Oh, you did? You did? Okay. Oh, you cut the check yourself. You actually wrote it. Oh, okay, good. It's amazing. It's so baffling, you guys. It's wrong. It's wrong that our justice system and our government is constantly targeting the wrong people. You notice that? The people that have been in government for decades, they don't go after them. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, all that stuff's clean as day. But somebody that's been in government for literally just 4 years, named Donald Trump, doing everything he can, FBI raids, multiple counts of obstruction of justice, going after classified documents. When Joe Biden and Barack Obama and Mike Pence have classified documents, nothing happens, and all this other stuff. It's crazy. The confidential source said that Burisma executive told he paid the Bidens in such a manner through so many different bank accounts that investigators would not be able to unravel this for at least 10 years. And we talked about that here on the Bald Brad Show. We said most likely what took place was there is an entanglement, a spider web of transactions that you would be able to follow it at some point, but you need some freaking savant and some auditing and forensic accounting to be able to track all this stuff. You could do it, but boy, oh boy, is it going to take some time? Like you said, it's 10 years. So they've been in the government for a long time. They got connections all over the place, but nothing's going to be done. The document then makes reference to the big guy, which we heard of. And who does the big guy reference? Even Joe Biden's business partner, Hunter Biden's business partner, one of the two, literally said, that's Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the big guy. So again, bits and pieces of this we already knew because the people closest to Joe Biden, business partners to Joe Biden, said all this stuff was happening. Nothing's being done. But like I said, there's been stories where literally Donald Trump was like, hand was shaking on a glass of water. He's unfit to hold office. Joe Biden falls on his face up a flight of stairs, downstairs, off a freaking sandbag. And you have the New York Times come out with an article, and now he's fit. He has striking stamina. He's sharp as day. This is what we're dealing with. It's like we're not only we live in a banana republic, we're being gaslit by our own government constantly. I know none of us are shocked. I'm fully aware of when none of us are shocked. It baffles me still. I know a lot of people write in the comments, Brad, how are you so like in shock and baffled? What the hell? Like, do we not just have morality anymore? Do we not just have a system of like what is actual truth and what is false anymore? I guess not. Maybe I shouldn't be shocked, but it's like, God, I still hold out hope here. We live in the greatest country that God ever created. I got to hold out some sort of hope, people. No, understand, please. So the Burisma executive told the confidential source that he didn't pay the big guy directly. Oh, here we go. Fox News Digital has learned that the confidential human source has been used by the FBI as a regular, reliable source of information since 2010. So this is kind of what I was referring to earlier. And has been paid approximately $200,000. Now, it's not the first time an informant's been paid by the FBI that fabricated something. Again, that kind of comes from the Russian hoax that we helped unravel, or at least report on from the Durham report. So, folks, I know it's an obvious and easy question to answer, but should Joe Biden be investigated here? Do you think Joe Biden should be indicted on some sort of charges, just as like Donald Trump did for just having a box with a napkin in it? These classified documents, classified guys, him having a napkin with a drawing on it. Probably something he drew up himself. But let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.